Hello, sweet little dill pickles, whom I adore. It is Sunday afternoon here in my house. I put the finishing touches on my painting. I will be shipping 2 paintings out tomorrow to people who are kind enough to employ me by commissioning beautiful paintings for me. And you too can commission a beautiful painting from me. And it would be a really fun thing. It would be a great honor to do a portrait or a painting of you for, quite a lot of money to you probably, but it's my paycheck. So just keeps the lights on here at my house in Hollywood, California. My subject today is something from my childhood, and a lot of people back home will remember this person from their childhood and early adulthood. Many people around might remember. No, there's no one left who would remember her as a contemporary. Her name was Miss May Etwell, or that's what she was called, Miss May Etwell. And she was she was kind of a legendary character. The story about her, I'm not going to add on all the spice that people always add, because I'll tell you what they do add. But, okay, she was a war bride during World War II. And she came to America with her husband. And then she was in an automobile accident. She was hopelessly and helplessly disfigured. Really just her face. They say that she was very beautiful. We cannot say whether she was or not. They say that she was from a very wealthy family. We cannot say if that's true or not. I know she didn't have any money, but when you spoke to her, she spoke in rather perfect English. See, she spoke like this. She didn't speak Cockney. She spoke rather beautifully. When she would speak to you, she would only speak like very low like this. But here was the thing. She could read your palms, which was amazing because she really was kind of blind. And I'm going to tell you how she looked, okay? When you'd see her going down the street, she had this Betty Davis thing going on. I think she was about the age probably there of Betty Davis, or the age where, because she wore her hair like Betty Davis, and she would wear like this red beret like Betty Davis and a leopard coat. And I don't know if it was a real leopard coat or not, but I remember seeing it thinking, damn, she got style. And unfortunately, her little sweet her face had been just mashed in this accident. She was not an eyesore by any means, but her little nose, she had no little nose left and just popped out just a little bit, right? It was completely flat and it popped out there, and her little mouth was down here, kind of. And of course, we were seeing her when she was, she was probably 50 or 60 when we first encountered her. She seemed so old then. My older brother and his wife, they had just been married in 1968. And they were young and wild and with it. And they said, let's go over here. You can pick her up. You give her a little money. She'll tell you the truth. She will. And then she would. And she made pocket money that way. So you pick her up in your car and you would tool about town. You would kind of cruise around town, and she would tell your fortune. And she would tell everybody's fortune. So the big thing in my family was, like with my sister-in-law and my brother, was that she told my sister-in-law that she was pregnant, and my sister-in-law didn't know that she was pregnant, and she said something about a palm tree and having to do something with the pregnancy, a palm tree. And so my sister-in-law thought, well, David has a palm tree tattooed on his ankle. That's got to be what it is. But then, 8 months later, when they had their baby, she named her Tamara, which means palm tree. Oh, isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? Well, anyway, I don't know. I had so many people tell me that Miss May's readings were accurate. I was lucky because one of my very best friends worked at the nursing home where Miss May was late in life, taken care. She was taken care of there. And I think she was kind of like a favorite there. I really do think. And Miss May could play the piano. And the song that she would play was Paper Roses. I did this earlier. It's not really good, but it's got some parts in it, so I'm going to speak over it anyway. It doesn't matter. Like, look, I messed up, but I just kept going. So, anyway, if you asked her, she would go to the piano at the nursing home and play Paper Roses or another really cool hit. And Paper Roses was a big hit for us in early 70s, early Marie Osmond, but it was a very old song then. It was like, Are You Lonesome Tonight? That was an old song before Elvis revived it. Anyway, so Miss May would tell your fortune, and I hope that nobody was mean to her. At the nursing home, they let her gather her little cats because she still took care of cats that came around, and she took care of them. So my best friend worked there, and she said, let's go over and see Miss May, and she will tell our fortunes. And so I think she might have already had her do it once or twice, but I was thrilled. So we went over, and I remember she said, she would absolutely do it for anything you could give her toward feeding her kitty cats beanie weenies. And I really think she was giving those cats beanie weenies, just contributing to their diabetes, but she loved her some kitties, and she never ate a cat. She did not. Anyway, my friend and I went to have our palms read, and I'm going to tell you what, I remember exactly what Ms. May said to my friend, and it seemed a wee bit far-fetched to me, but your imagination can say, oh, I could, you can do that. But when she read mine, it was just like, yeah, I'm going to live in the country near a large church and marry and live happily with 5 children until I die at the age of 81, 2, or 3. That was what she told me. That did not come to pass. The thing that she told my friend Donna, I don't think it came to pass. But we got to experience Miss May Atwell, and she was a legend, and I just wonder if there are any pictures of her. I can see her now. Little red beret. She did this Betty Davis thing, if I haven't already told you. She colored her hair kind of pink. It was like a henna thing, but it was real faded, right? But she wore her hair in like a Betty Davis page boy, and she would pin curl the ends and just go around with them hanging there like that sometime. And then she'd pull on this red felt beret and then pull on this leopard coat, and she struck an image. And sometimes there would be cats like around her ankles walking along and things when you'd see her. So anyway, I guess she died in the nursing home. But I know that she's remembered well by people around there. And that's my story about Miss May Atwell today on Sunday. Was there anything else about the nursing home? The first time I went to the nursing home, little kids, and I'm gonna tell you something. She was already there at the nursing home, but it was almost like she could check out and go somewhere and come back. But my best friend William that lived down the street, his daddy was kind of like a minister, and he liked to take his guitar and go over to that very nursing home one night a week and go around and, sing hymns to people and pray with people and things like that. And sometimes the people didn't feel like it, but I remember my friend, he said, now when you go in here, you're going to smell this really stinky smell. It's the smell of cancer. He was bright as hell. He was. That's just what his mind. There was a smell. It's not in the nursing home site. It's not where my mama was. Not where she ended up. It's not. Didn't smell. It smelled like. Ugh. What? I can't even tell you what it smelled like. But it did smell like it could possibly be cancer back then, and. So yeah, I went over there with William and his daddy, and it was we just go around from room to room. That's the first time I was over there, and I believe that is the time that I heard Miss May Atwell play Paper Roses on the piano, and I am not going to play any more piano today. I'm going to tell you goodbye. This is brought to you by Wright's, Wyoming. They sell string, they sell nails, they sell plastic parts for moving toys. Just the parts, not the actual toys. Anyway, check out because they're coming to your neighborhood, local, Wright, Wyoming. Okay, go there. I know it sounds weird, but everything's like, oh, our store is called Funk. It's just called Wright, Wyoming. You can get like those pretty little doorknobs that are like crystal in different colors. Anyway, y'all have a good evening and have a good week. Bye.